In this video, we're gonna let AI plan a road trip for us, and it's gonna be really fun. So we've got OpenAI Playground. It's a text generation AI tool, and what we're gonna do is just ask it to do stuff for us, and then it's gonna do it. So I've got this prompt in here that says, "Hey, can you suggest a road trip plan for me and my two friends? We want to travel up and down the East Coast of the United States for 1 week in the summertime. Can you suggest locations that we might want to stop at, places we might stay at, sightseeing we might do, hikes we might take, places we could eat, and a rough estimate on how much we should budget for the road trip?" So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit over here. On the right hand side, you can tweak some of these. The only really important one is the maximum length. I like to keep it around what I've got at now, about 690 is a comfortable number, because that's going to be how much text is actually going to output here. So we're going to let that do its thing. It's loading right now. It's going and planning a road trip. Super cool. And so great, it's actually going to go through, and it's I like how it said trip. It's interesting. All right, cool. So let's start by planning the route, and it's like, hey, you can go on I-95, and then it says, hey, you can start in Boston, DC, Virginia Beach, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, or St. Augustine. So it's like plotting a path all the way down the East Coast. Very cool. And then it says, depending on your budget, you can do any of these. And it's like, hey, budget at least 100 per night. And then it says research each location, but we kind of want to chat GPT to do that for us. So next time I'm actually going to revise the query and ask it for links, but it's got some interesting ideas, historical sites. And then it's like, if you want to do some hikes, it listed a couple different hikes. Very cool. And then it says, hey, let's look at 50 to 100 per day. And then, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to annihilate that. We're going to get rid of it, even though it's really great. I'm just going to ask, can you give me links to any place that you mentioned? And say informational links to any place that you mentioned, because I don't want to Google this stuff myself. I want AI to do that for me, and Playground does have the ability to get you links, so that's really cool. And I'm also going to mention that we do want to know how much gas will be. So how much gas will or how much will gas be? I have a Toyota Camry that gets 3 mpg. How many miles would this road trip be? Cool. So we're just going to ask it just like as dumb human as possible. Like, I don't know, I got a Camry. How much am I going to pay in gas, right? Just something that just takes the brain power out of, you don't have to go and do any math and be like, oh, guys, we need to budget this much for gas. You don't need to do any of that. We're just going to see what the chat gives us. And so on the right-hand side is worth tweaking these, right? To kind of modify these accordingly. One important thing is that when you have a sort of like broken or like unfinished thought down here, you're just going to hit submit again. It'll go ask for another 690 tokens, and it's going to go and push through that. And when I say tokens, I don't mean at this point in time any sort of like money or anything like that. Right now it's just a this is all like free, and like you saw, like I have a rate limit here, so I can only do a certain amount of requests per minute. So right now it's like 10 per minute. That is for free. And so let's look at this, right? So this is actually really cool. So it says day 1, right? Let's go from Shenandoah to Charleston, right? And so it's like, hey, gas estimate. That's really cool. It's a total estimated mileage for the week-long road trip. So this is something you could even just copy and paste into like a messenger group chat, or send out in an email, right? So it has some suggestions to just kind of drive around like Chesapeake Bay, like just go and do whatever. Yeah, and so it actually suggests some specific locations like Justine's Kitchen. I've never heard of that place. Alligator Soul Restaurant. And This is great, right? So it gives all the links to all of these places that I mentioned, and then it even gives links to the restaurants. What else could you want, right? So this is really great. And honestly, I'm going to stop here, but if you wanted to modify this, if you wanted to give it any more details on what you wanted out of this road trip, you could just put it in here and it would just plan it all out for you. So I think this is a really cool way to leverage AI to do something fun and just go and just do something, right? So it's planning an itinerary. I couldn't have thought up anything better than this myself, and I would have been digging through Google and Yelp for just hours to figure out what I should be doing, but this figured it out in like 5 seconds, and this entire thing to show you this took like 5 minutes. So this is a really cool way to leverage just the power of AI. So it's really cool, and I hope this is helpful. And go ahead and in the comments let me know how the road trip goes if you take a road trip that is suggested by AI. Anyhow, thanks for watching and have a good one.